this wonderful evening. Good evening, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you. I welcome you, everyone, to this virtual roundtable discussion with a topic of leveraging entrepreneurship and global collaboration to empower communities at the grassroots level. So the idea behind this topic is to discuss about the Social Entrepreneur of the Year India Awards and how do they empower the social entrepreneurs to make a lasting impact. So we have distinguished panel over here who will put more light on the subject and discuss, share their experiences. Yes. So Social Entrepreneur of the Year Award 2025, in our efforts to outreach the social change maker, we have been assisted by Aspire for her team, led by Madhura, who is here, part of our panel as well. So I welcome the entire team, entire entrepreneurial network, and again, I welcome everyone. So just to give you a backdrop, the Social Entrepreneur of the Year India Award is a joint initiative that has been introduced through a collaboration of Jubilant Bhartia Foundation and Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship, which is a sister concern of World Economic Forum. Founded in 1971 by Professor Klaus Schwab, we all know World Economic Forum is one of the leading prominent organization which has been building a global partnership for public-private institution, engaging political leaders, so as to shape the global ecosystem. And as probably as a larger spin-off towards supporting the bottom of the pyramid, the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship was started back in 1998 and has been pioneering the global collaboration to promote social entrepreneurship, building communities of social entrepreneurs, and driving meaningful change at the bottom of the pyramid. So we all are gathered, today to discuss about the Social Entrepreneur of the Year Award and how do they, help the social entrepreneurs which are there driving the change at the bottom of the pyramid. So this is the 16th year of our collaboration. Big shout out to the to the great social entrepreneurs. Schwab Foundation been cultivating this change over the years. Today we have and we are expecting people from communities across aspiring established entrepreneurs, social incubators and accelerators, investors, people from nonprofits, from academia, and then probably from policy making as well, who are keenly following this the entire process. As I said, we are very honored to have the distinguished panel, and the flow of the program. So let me just highlight the flow of the program. So the flow of the program will be for this today's discussion. So we'll start with the roundtable. Have our distinguished guest speakers share their experiences and their learnings out of SEOY Awards and how it has helped them. And then probably at the end of this entire discussion, in the last 15 minutes, we'll take Q&As from our people who have joined us. So meanwhile, you can just you can drop your queries on the chat box. We'll try to address it if there are certain things that can be addressed immediately, or at the end we'll collate them and we'll take them all the major ones at the last, and then probably we can further engage post this webinar as well. So I would now request Mr. Vivek Prakash to take this forward. So Mr. Vivek Prakash, so just an introduction. So Mr. Vivek Prakash is Senior VP and Head at Jubilant Bhartia Foundation. He leads Jubilant Bhartia Foundation and focuses on the corporate social responsibility for the group companies, Jubilant Bhartia Group of Companies. So he has more than 25 years of experience working across manufacturing companies. He's delivering his expertise in community development social initiative. And he actively contributes towards various social and CSR committees and advisory boards, prominent boards, CII, FICCI, and multiple other such areas. I welcome Mr. Vivek Prakash, and I would request him to take this discussion forward. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rajendra. In fact, this year award we have scheduled on in the month of August, And so this is the award established by the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship. So we partnered with them in 2009, and from 2010 onwards, we are running this award process for India. And every year we are selecting a few promising entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and giving them opportunity to get the fellowship from Schwab Foundation and become the leader, and especially the represent India, especially for this sector, especially social entrepreneurship sector from India. So, in fact, this award is giving opportunity to become part of this Schwab Fellowship network. Exclusively for India, we have introduced three years back, in fact, this Hindustan Times Fellowship for Stanford Seed Transformation Program, where entrepreneurs are joining this program and growing their businesses also. And this award is giving a very good access to this influential network. And SOA Foundation itself is giving a lot of opportunity for global networking and giving them and sending them for MDP programs also. Uh, Exclusively for Indian, in fact, finalists and winners at our Jubilant Bhartia group, we are trying to engage with them under our CSR program also. And as and when we got opportunity, we are also recommending them to partner with other corporates also to help those corporates in the implementation of their CSR. So it's a win-win situation for both. So we are also getting support from social entrepreneurs, but we are supporting social entrepreneurs to get global exposure and networking opportunity at global level through Schwab Foundation's platform and their fellowship. So today, for this session, we have Ms. Vandana Goyal from Avanti Fellows. So she is the co-founder and in fact co-CEO of Avanti Fellows, and they are the winner of last year 2024 in Social Entrepreneur of the Year award. Then we have Maria from Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship, then Chintan Bakshi from IMF Venture, Madhura from Aspire for Her. So she is leading this entire today's session also. And then Ashraf, she is also a winner of 2020 award for the Social Entrepreneur of the Year award. So let us have one introductions session and let us understand their perspective and how this award is giving them opportunity to grow their network and do something for the society. So let us start with Vandana. So and then we will go to other panelists also. Yeah, Vandana.
I'm here on behalf of Akshay. Akshay extends his regrets. He's traveling and couldn't be here. So he was the winner on behalf of Avanti Fellows in 24. But I can safely say it was an award that was for the whole organization and has benefited us tremendously. And I would say that the whole journey and the process of applying for the award up until his attendance at WEF in Davos, all of the steps along the way have been of tremendous benefit, and we continue to see the benefits of that in lasting relationships that have come out of winning this award. So I think the process of actually being selected, the level of thought that was put into the process, the AV that was made about our work that was presented at the Delhi award ceremony, the award ceremony itself that was televised in India. So immediately after that televised award ceremony, I think we had 3 or 4 very meaningful donor conversations that came immediately after. People we had never interacted with before, had never met before, were not on our radar. All of those conversations have already converted or are just about to convert into significant long-term contributions to Avanti Fellows' work. The award ceremony in India was followed by Akshay's attendance at Davos, at the WEF annual meeting. And similarly, immediately after that, 2 things happened. I think one, there were many partners, especially from India, who felt really inspired and engaged with the work that we do, who are now looking at opportunities to provide internships and employment opportunities to Avanti alumni, our student alumni. And the second is, of course, new donor conversations that opened up as a result of his attendance there. So I would say that in addition to like a completely new network that can further advance the mission of Avanti, we have access now to likely almost 10 new significant donors, both companies, foundations, as well as individuals who are now supporting or about to support our work as a direct result. We can safely say a direct result of Akshay winning this award on behalf of us. So we're extremely grateful for the award, feel really privileged to have been selected for it, and cannot encourage enough for those of you who are attending to consider applying. As they say, you'll never win what you don't apply for. So put your name in the ring. And it's just an incredible platform, I think, for your work to be highlighted. And would like to thank Mr. Prakash and Maria and everyone who was here, Madhura, everyone who was a part of helping Avanti Fellows be recognized. And thank you for the opportunity to continue to share.
Thank you, Vandana. Maria, you are sitting at headquarters of SEOY Foundation, and this SEOY Foundation supports global collaboration among social entrepreneurs. And so, what impact you have seen from this partnership in terms of systemic change, especially in the last 10 years, because we are partnering with SEOY Foundation. I think this is the 16th year of our partnership, and we have seen some changes. So what systemic change you are seeing, especially in this sector, social entrepreneurship sector, in the last 2 decades?
Right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for our friends at the Jubilant Bhartia Foundation for this long-standing partnership, because this is a precious way for us to actually have a more local footprint in different parts of the world, and particularly in India. Our community has a big part of our community actually comes from India every year, and is such a pillar in many ways, because it helps us reflect and be actually on the front line in many of the reflections. It's such an incredible laboratory of you guys keeping all the innovation going all the time. So we thank you for that, and thank you, the Jubilant family, for all the collaborations we have gone through these years. The SEOY Foundation supports social innovation for many reasons, and these many reasons actually means that it reflects on the consequences systemically in different ways. So one of the things is of supporting social entrepreneurs. It's about helping them scale their impact. So in that front, of course, we have seen enormous systemic impact over the years. We have awardees that keep coming after 20 years of being awarded. And as Vandana was saying, sometimes we help them open doors, and that's actually the way it goes. I would say we are in the SEOY Foundation, we are enablers, but you are the guys who make the magic, and that's incredible. We offer basically different ways of having more visibility and sparking collaboration and going deeper on their systemic aspects of the work. And then based on all that, what we see on the reality is that the collaborations actually flourish. We have, for example, one awardee from Singapore, I'm thinking right now, that is working on sanitation and has been an strategic support for people in Colombia that recently passed a law to avoid particular risk with child early marriage, for example. So you might see how this is connected. Well, this is the magic part. This is a community of peers that think together, support each other, exchange and learn a lot. And when they get together on the different activities we do, you see these outcomes coming very, very naturally. Another example, this week, I'm actually joining you from Boston. I'm with a group of 40 social entrepreneurs in Harvard. And one of the things that actually came out is one of the conversations we have an organization based in Morocco, Tibu, Africa, another organization based in Ecuador, in the Amazon, indigenous leaders living there, and they came together and say, let's work together. And this is the plan for the second semester, actually, to start launching a program for youth development through sports, which is what the Morocco company does, but for the indigenous youth in the Amazon, which is what Ecuador does. So you see, these bridges are built all the time. And a second important thing that why we do what we do is about signaling to the world and stakeholders that these effective solutions are the reality and encouraging the collaboration. And that's also an important thing on systemic part, because we do believe on the all the importance of the enabling factors on the ecosystem, basically. So basically influencing policymakers through publications, through research, influencing businesses to encourage that collaboration. And that's how actually we do try to do a fine job in Davos every year, and through the World Economic Forum with the businesses that they have there, to actually encourage that collaboration. I showed that these solutions are a reality. So we have plenty of examples of really good things that have come out of, as you were saying, but then I think that you were giving a perfect illustration actually of the things we can help unlock when we come together and provide platforms that help you to integrate with other stakeholders.
Thank you, Maria. In fact, I think in the last 10 years, especially in the last 10 years, though, we have seen the transition in corporate thinking. So earlier, they were more thinking about their growth and profits, so how they can collaborate and grow their businesses. But now they are thinking how to create more impact, especially social impact, out of their businesses. So now normal corporates are also now thinking about their impact on in the society. So in fact, especially this SEOY Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship and World Economic Forum, like Rise Ahead, this initiative. So this has given opportunity to many corporates to come forward and sign the impact plays to create social impact and increase the social impact of their businesses and through businesses also. So there's the change I think you are creating at global level, and I think slowly it will grow, and we are hopeful that in future, these days we are saying that social entrepreneurs are creating social impact, but in future I'm saying that normal corporates will also think about the social impact. So this is the change, in fact, you are bringing in the at global level. So thank you for putting your thought here. So now, so we have Chintan Bakshi. So just like SEOY Foundation, which is enabler for this sector, Chintan is also associated with IMA Venture, which is part of IMA Ahmedabad. So one of the premier institute in India, IIM Ahmedabad, and it's in fact, so IMA Venture is in fact incubating startups and giving them opportunity to grow, and in fact they are also helping us to establish our Bharat Impact, one of the incubation center, which is especially focusing on social impact, supporting social entrepreneurs, especially startups who are starting their social enterprises. So Chintan, so you are already in this field in the last in fact 10-15 years, and you have seen the growth of this sector also. So can you give us some example where this partnership with this social entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs and these institutions has created some impact?
Yeah, thank you, Vivekji. And in fact, as I talk, I'm in the middle of a program, so things might be slightly noisy on the background. So we are doing a program for some 20 social entrepreneurs, early stage entrepreneurs, and helping them figure out how they can scale up, raise funding, etc. So yeah, I think programs like the ones that we do at IMA Ventures and what we are planning to do as part of the Bharat Impact Accelerator Program in coordination of the. Yeah, I think there was some echo and feedback. So I think these are very, very important for social entrepreneurs. You know, I mean, startups in general face a lot of risks, a lot of challenges, trying to bring new products and services into the market, and the risk is probably doubled for social impact enterprises because they are not only looking at creating profitability scale, they're also looking at creating impact. I remember when I was a social entrepreneur, started in 2006. We were trying to do rural distribution in Orissa, Rajasthan, in the rural areas. And when we used to go to a social impact investor, I mean, social impact investing space was not that mature. Whatever few investors and donors were there, they used to tell us that you need to probably go to a commercial VC because you're a for-profit enterprise, even though we had a very clear social impact focus. And when we used to go to commercial VCs, they used to say that you probably need to go to donors or go and raise grants. So we used to kind of figure out where do we go to. Of course, things have changed since then. The impact investing ecosystem has matured significantly. Technologies have kind of enabled things like access in rural areas, whether it is finance, credit, agri inputs, etc., etc. But I think programs like the one that we are doing as part of the Jubilant Bhartia Foundation are specifically designed to kind of address these startup risks of figuring out the product market fit, whether who's the right customer segment for the right product that the social entrepreneur is trying to bring to market, help them basically articulate their social impact. If a social entrepreneur has to go and pitch to an impact investor, then not only they need to be able to very clearly articulate their business model scalability, they should also be able to articulate their impact metrics. When the social enterprise scales up, this is how the impact will also get scaled up. So I think programs like these are specifically designed to address such risks that a social entrepreneur faces. Uh, Also programs like these are also there are two more specific issues or specific benefits that programs like these have. One is that there is peer networking. So you get to know what's happening in the peer groups in similar industries. There'll be a lot of learnings from different industries, and also it becomes like a way to network with potential customers and investors. Right, Vandana was talking about opening doors with potential donors and investors. So typically, what we would do in most of our programs is, we would call in a lot of investors, corporates, etc., for mentoring sessions so that they get a better insight into what the social entrepreneur is kind of trying to build and sort of challenges, etc. So in a way, it's also trying to create that empathy and understanding of the challenges that a social entrepreneur faces. I think in general, just to conclude, I think the social impact space has significantly changed. In fact, I was having these couple of sort of thoughts as we were doing this current cohort. I think there is better alignment between scalability and business models with social impact. Like Vivekji, what you were trying to say, even the more commercial large companies are also now looking at social impact. Right? How do they kind of create that? How do they scale up the social impact. I think similarly, what I have seen is that now the kind of the pigeonholing between a commercial enterprise and a social enterprise is somewhat reducing. There is more meeting of the minds. There are investors also who are kind of looking at the commercials, and also for them social impact, or for that matter climate impact is a plus point, right? So I think these are some of the quick points that I want to mention. Thank you.
Thank you, Chintan. So you mentioned about the especially this incubation program is helping entrepreneurs to identify their impact metrics and work upon this so that investors will come and they will invest and they can grow. So I think this is the crux, and this is one of the metrics for assessing our Social Entrepreneur of the Year award also. So SWAB Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship has designed the framework. So they are also, so we are also seeing the same thing, that whether the entrepreneurs have their impact metrics or not, or whether they are measuring it or not, and then only they can grow. So in fact, this is the message for all the entrepreneurs who are on this call. So if you are in this space, you are in the social entrepreneurship space, and if you are running your businesses, but you should also have your impact metrics, in fact, always ready to showcase it to all your stakeholders, so that your chances to grow will be fast. And for this award also, in fact, this is one of the criteria for assessment. So thank you, Chintan, for highlighting this point. We have Madhura. So she is one of the, in fact, I can say finalist, and she also got this opportunity of Stanford Seed Program. So we want to listen from her. So how this process has helped you, and this program, especially this Stanford Seed Program, is helping you to further grow your enterprise and create more impact.
Thank you so much, Vivekji, for the question. And it's always a pleasure to be a part of Jubilant Bhartia forums. And ever since we actually got on the stage last year, we have had many opportunities of collaborating with you. So thank you for building that ecosystem for social entrepreneurs in India. Very frankly speaking, I had not even heard the term social entrepreneur before we applied for this award. And I will also talk to you about the process of applying for the award and the experiences that went along with it. So when we saw the application form, I saw that there were a lot of questions. And like all of us, I said, this is too much. I don't have the time and the energy. There are so many other burning fires all around me. I don't have the time to do this. And I quickly put it in the back burner, and realized that, I will come back to it later. It was my team, and specifically one of our members of Aspire for Her, who was very, very keen that I do apply, and she pushed me, she nudged me, and her name is Divya, and I would really like to say thank you to her. And all of you need a Divya in your life to push you and nudge you, and first of all make you apply, because the process itself is absolutely illuminating and it opens up many beautiful doors. And let me talk to you about three things that sort of happened after we went through the process. And I think the first bit is, and let me talk about Stanford to start with. We were already in the process for Stanford Seed, and we had gotten selected for the Stanford Seed Transformation Program. And I only later realized that there is this wonderful partnership between Jubilant Bhartia Foundation and Stanford Seed. And in a single word, I think the entire Stanford Seed Transformation Program is absolutely outstanding. So I think they're still open as of now. So if any of you haven't applied for it, please do apply for it. And just in case, you happen to be in the happy intersection set of the Social Entrepreneurship of the Year award and Stanford Seed, then you'll be like us and you'll feel very lucky and on top of the world. In Stanford Seed, we are a group of 89 founders who are, a part of this class of 2025. And the whole transformation process is a 9-month process, which happens in a very, very systematic and a very calibrated fashion. There are professors from Stanford who come down and spend time with us physically as well as virtually. And every part of the business is analyzed, and there is a growth path which is actually eked out for every part of the business. So it's a very, very interesting program, and highly recommend to anyone who is a social entrepreneur and also somebody who isn't. So that's, I think, the first thing. And thank you so much, Vivek ji, for supporting us, because it turned out to be a very happy coincidence that everything actually came together for us. The second piece I will talk about is actually the one thing that Vivek ji announced on the day of the award, and we were all on the stage, and he announced that he was actually starting a whole initiative around social entrepreneurs in India, something that would actually become like a feeder channel into the SEOY Awards eventually, and that was Bharat Impact. And we were shocked, we were surprised, astounded, in fact, and so many things to learn from you and your wonderful team, Rajinder and everybody else. After making that announcement, absolutely quickly, they managed to get everything together. They launched the Bharat Impact program, and that helped us big time, because we are community builders at Aspire for Her. We are adding 1 million women to the economy by 2025 and 10 million by 2030. And we have this huge community of women entrepreneurs called Entreprenari. And many of them understood that the kind of impact and the kind of resources and the kind of connections that they can actually get from Bharat Impact can be brilliant. And that's how many of the journeys started there. We have Shomita right here. Shomita runs an assistive clothing brand called Zainika, assistive fashion brand called Zainika. And she has been very fortunate to be part of the Bharat Impact, the first incubator accelerator that they're running. And we're hoping that many, many more people will get to know about the wonderful work happening in the social entrepreneurship ecosystem and get benefited. So it's not just a benefit only for us, it's a benefit for our entire community. And that's why I would really love to say thank you to Vivek ji, Rajinder, and everybody who in lightning speed have actually launched this. They also have a wonderful space that they have created in Noida, and I believe that many exciting updates are awaited on that as well. So that's the second point. And the third point, it is the process of the award itself. And I must tell you that we did not win. We did not win. Our very wonderful winner was Akshay Saxena and Avanti Fellows. So we're indeed proud to know them and to get to know of their amazing work. But we did not win the award. And in spite of that, I'm saying that this has been one of the most rewarding experiences, because we truly felt like winners. And I'll tell you why. As a part of the process, as the entire sort of journey culminates into the award and the interviews and all of that, which happened on the last day, and it's a surprise till then as to who is the real winner, we actually had a day when we had to invite all our stakeholders. And, we were thinking, who are the stakeholders that we will invite? And we tried to make a very short list. And the short list was not short. It turned out to be some 42 people who we thought would be good people to talk about our work. So these were our partners, our corporate partners, institutional partners, our government partners. These were beneficiaries who were part of our community. These were collaborators who were working with us in some way or the other. And there were 42 people. And we could only give them very short slots to talk about us. But the way in which they came and talked about us to the committee and to all the people in Schwab Foundation and Jubilant Bhartia, it filled our hearts with so much of joy, so much of gratitude that feeling itself was a winner's feeling. So I would really strongly recommend the process to all of you, more than whether you finally win or not. I think going through the process itself is a very, very gratifying journey. So Three things, Vivek ji. I hope I've answered the question.
Yeah, thank you, Madhura. The process is important because we also learn during this entire journey of assessment, because every entrepreneur is having unique impact solutions, and whenever we are going, in fact, earlier I was telling that we are going to Pilmares every year, and we are meeting such people who are creating impact in the society. So this is in fact opportunity for us. Now coming to Ashraf. So Ashraf, you are the winner of this award in 2020, when everybody was just thinking how to intact their team. That was the COVID time, and so during that time also, uh, through your network of community, you start in fact continued your work in the community. And we always say, Ashraf running a mini Schwab Foundation or mini World Economic Forum kind of thing, where a teeny or the small startups is at idea stage, they are coming to her and she is incubating them. So it's a very good platform which you have created. So we want to learn from you, listen from you. So how this SEOY award has helped you to further enhance your skill, knowledge, and network after getting this award, so that the entrepreneurs who are listening you, they can also aspire to go for this award.
So thanks so much, Vivek. Such a beautiful introduction because, we have been hoping that all of our community becomes Schwab Fellows and Jubilant Bhartia Fellows. So SEOY Schwab Foundation, Jubilant Foundation should come together and just focus on the youth engaging organizations in the country. So I'm very glad that you've shared what you shared. Now we can use this and come after you with more nominations and applications. But so beautiful. And I want to thank both Jubilant and Schwab Foundation, because I think for us, so in terms of number of learnings, I think the big thing for us was to get youth leadership and the whole work of youth leadership on, in a public recognition space, which was in India, and with the Schwab Foundation globally as well. So for me, I think for us all at Prava and Community, I think that's the other thing I want to mention. How this program sort of values shared leadership, values organizations, evolution. And I think all of that is also part of a social entrepreneurial journey, because social entrepreneurship is not only about the individual founders, it is also about the organizations that are behind, and it could be one organization, two organization. And to my mind, the big thing that I felt throughout the journey, and I think all of us felt at both Prava and Community, how you took, interestingly, two organizations along to really, communicate this idea of interdependence and connection, which is quite rare. So I think that is something that was very special for us, and I want to thank you all for that, because not many award programs and fellowships make that extra effort, because I'm sure you had to stretch a little bit of the imagination of the norms and the ways the fellowship is structured. To us, learning journeys, I think, okay, so I'll just share a couple of things. I think really strong were the learning journeys. There was a beautiful learning journey in India where all the India SEOY fellows came together. So to my mind, it's part of strengthening collaboration between the SEOY fellows or the social entrepreneur fellows in India, which I think is very important. We can do global work and do the global conferences, but this India fellows coming together and their organizations coming together to learn collaboratively was very special. So there was a learning journey that was there in India, which India fellows co-hosted, again co-created. There has been another learning journey more recently that I have been part of, which was anchored at by Shiksha Lokam in Bangalore, which was on partnerships and collectivizations. Again, bringing organizations from across the world, fellows, Schwab fellows, and SUI fellows from across the world. So I think learning journeys is a big thing. I haven't been on many, but I have been invited, and we have been invited on many. So it's a continuous learning process for the social entrepreneurs. That's really special. One thing that I want to share, which happened recently, we had a meeting of Schwab and Social Entrepreneur of the Year awardees, this whole fellowship meeting to discuss collectivization, networking, coalition building. And I think that's one big contribution that we have received. And I think we have also been able to come back and bring our learnings. Like Vivek was sharing, a lot of our work happens one directly, but it also happens indirectly in partnership with many organizations together. So we are also a collective. And I think that idea of collectivization, uh, the strength and the faith in, investing in this, because now there is less and less attention being paid to bringing people together and working together. In a world where systems change has to happen, we need not just individual organizations, we need to work together across issues and across sectors. So to my mind, this journey of fellows coming together and working on how can we do this better, that's what's been happening. So there is a whole process that has been initiated of fellows actually working on putting case studies, developing narratives on how we have to work together collaboratively and actually do some experiments on the ground. So this is a more recent thing. And because we work on collectivization and collective building, that's the other thing I feel we have learned a lot, and it's strengthening our collective mission. I want to also celebrate Vivek, you and your team. I think to my mind, there's been a beautiful partnership that Prava, the organization, has had with Jubilant Foundation itself. And there's an adolescent program and a youth program which we have been part of, which had tremendously exciting results, and some of it has been embedded into the work of the Jubilant Foundation. So we are very grateful and excited. So these are also the kind of things that help organizations scale and strengthen their work. And that's what you all have, this space has contributed. One thing I do want to share very especially is what I've valued is the relationships. I mean, the way, and I think I want to go with what Madhura shared, the process of the journey itself of the social entrepreneurship, SEOY Awards. And I want to encourage, therefore, everyone who feel that they fit the category to definitely apply. And it's really not about winning, because the process itself was very enriching, not only to us as the social entrepreneurs who were sort of spotlighted, but to our whole organization. And that's the beauty. Both the organizations, there were intense meetings, conversations, there were field visits, and then the jury itself. So just respecting the energy and the effort and the love that goes into it, and everyone comes a winner. So I think that's very special. I think big picture is really that. So the learning journeys, the events, and the building the narrative around leadership and collectivization, to our mind, no change is going to happen. Systems change won't happen unless we have the leaders of a certain shared value system in the right places. And that's what I think the fellowship offers us all to work together to strengthen. The last thing I want to say, of course, is the Harvard program. The co-founders, all the co-founders, and the beauty of this is it's just not the social entrepreneurs that were offered this opportunity. It was all the CEOs of our organizations that were offered this opportunity. So that's really exciting. The opportunities is not limited to a few people. It also spread, and we were very happy to have the CEO of Prava also join the Harvard leadership program, which was a big learning for me, and I'm sure for the rest of the organizations, the two organizations that I come from. I just want to share thank you to all of you for being part of our journey. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you as well. I think your words will certainly motivate many entrepreneurs who are here on this call for applying and in fact go through this process. So I'm just opening one question for any of the panelists, like because every time we are discussing how to grow this sector, so like Chintan is in this ecosystem building, same way at India level he's engaged, same way Maria is at global level, but especially for in the Indian perspective, I want to ask, so anybody can say, if, like Vandana or Madhura or Asraf, so what supportive policy and advocacy effort do you believe are crucial for creating an enabling environment for social entrepreneurs? Because this is every time we are saying that government should change this policy or bring some act or some rules. So what do you think which is important for development of this sector? So Chintan,
I can
or
just
yeah,
a couple of quick thoughts.
yeah, Vandana, yeah.
Sure. So I think one is the actual regulatory environment in terms of how to set up an organization and receive the, you know, the recognition, the registrations, the certificates you need to, if you're a nonprofit, to receive the funds, you know, if you're a for-profit, just to set up a company. It's becoming more and more complex to set up and run an organization. It's definitely a deterrent. It would be a deterrent for me if I were to leave Avanti and try to, I would definitely think 10 times before trying to set up another organization. So that's certainly part of the enabling environment. Second, I think that there's a huge bias towards, you know, and we all know this, towards, you know, the English language and people from metros in terms of access to capital. So we benefit from that bias, unfortunately, but there are many amazing organizations and entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is a mindset and a skill. It is not connected to a language or a geographical location, you know, or place. So how can people in a position to influence actually direct capital to where it's deserved and needed, especially to the people who those interventions, those organizations are working to benefit. And then, of course, there's this talent and, you know, are there ways to partner with industry to actually get talent to engage in a meaningful way with organizations that are being set up to just accelerate some of the process of like what it means to start and run an organization. I think we're all just learning as we go and duplicating and, you know, triplicating, you know, the same things that may be like very common knowledge. So is there a way that, you know, organizations could look at like more meaningful deputation of talent, like from the private sector, you know, into nonprofits or, you know, startups or even, you know, whatever they are, social enterprises, whatever kind of company, you know, structure they are, so that they could spend 6 months, 3 months, a year to like really meaningfully accelerate the progress of an organization. Those were just a few ideas that came to mind on that enabling environment. Thanks.
I think this is a very good idea, especially the last one which you explained. If a for-profit organization or commercial or corporates, if they can depute some of their executives and give them opportunity to work with not-for-profit, it will give win-win situation to both. In fact, the not-for-profit will also learn a lot, and certainly they will grow, the opportunity to grow. But at the same time, the commercial organization will also learn the pulses of this NGO and the society, so how they are functioning and what are the real issues in this country, so that they can also design their product and services in the company. So I think it's a very good suggestion you have. So Chintan ji, in fact, so you have done some experiment in your organization also, like not only you are incubating people at your IMA campus, but you have also created satellite center. The Vandana mentioned that it's not the English language, or the language should not be the barrier, because it's the idea and the impact which they are carrying. So so how you are accommodating these people? You have done some experiment, like you have already created some your center in Hyderabad or Rajasthan or in Northeast Assam also, so that the local entrepreneurs should get opportunity of incubation and grow their businesses. So there is no language barrier, so and regional barrier also. So it's a very good learning we got from you, and under our this Bharat Impact also we have tried to accommodate impact entrepreneurs from all part of this country. So I think these are some important points. So is there any point coming out, coming in your mind, like Ashraf or Madhura, if you want to highlight? So which kind of policy or rules or some advocacy we should do for impact for this to grow this social enterprises in this country?
I think, we can, sorry, Ashraf, do you want to go first?
No, go ahead. It's all right.
I think maybe Vivekji would like to keep some space for questions and answers also, so I'll be quick. I think social entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey, and Vandana mentioned a lot of the challenges, and often it is only the founder or the person or the leader who's actually running the organization who actually knows the challenges and who sort of lives them every day. So what we always advocate, and we do this, we build communities that aspire for her, is to actually find your own community and to build a community so that you do have the support system, you have a safe space in which you can thrive and grow. So we have a magic formula that we use to build communities, and we call that E cubed is equal to MC cubed. E cubed stands for where we want every woman in India to be, and ours is of course more woman focused, but this holds for every community. We want them to be a part of either employment, in entrepreneurship, or in education, which leads to one of the two. Very happy to see one of our young members joining in here with Vandana. Hi. And MC, C, and C are the 4 critical success factors that we feel are required, which is M is for mentors and role models, C is for courses, cohorts, and learning. And that's exactly where Jubilant Bhartia comes in with the kind of incubators, accelerators. Chintan comes in with IMA Ventures to actually give a sort of skilling opportunities to folks. We also want to celebrate these stories. And, often these stories don't find space in the mainstream media. So we call it career previews. But actually what we want to talk about is celebrating these stories on all media and to motivate people like yourselves. We have so many wonderful people who are here on this call, and all your stories need to be told. So we would like more people to know it, and every day on our platform, we try to celebrate these stories and bring them to light. And of course, the community itself is a space where the journey becomes less lonely. People motivate each other, they elevate each other, and we also try to solve problems creatively and collectively. So my only suggestion would be find your own community, build your own community. I know Ashraf is a big believer in this as well. And it just helps to make the space a lot more friendlier and a lot less intimidating for someone who's starting out.
So Rajendra, can you take up a few questions and so that panelists can answer it?
Yes. So Maria, as soon as you stopped speaking, people started, coming up with queries directly to you. So I have 2 very good questions probably, as I see. So one says that at the level that you work at the Schwab Foundation, do you also support organization to build their organization hierarchy? And how do you, support the organization in their capacities?
Right, that's a really good question and relates on the work I'm doing this week right now in Harvard that Ashraf you were mentioning too. So one of the important things we try to do when supporting social entrepreneurs is building capacities on the different areas that they tell us actually in which areas normally they need to. I wouldn't say that we go that specific in actually shaping or co-shaping the hierarchy of your organizations. I think that's a journey that relies on you and your leadership teams. but we do try to point out to the areas where you need to be accompanying. For example, with this Harvard course that we offer every year, we try, as you were saying, Ashraf, not only to include the winner actually, which is normally the founder or leader of the organization, but also their senior staff, because we do understand this is a process that goes well beyond one person. This is a collective process within the organization and then the entire ecosystem. So this is a quite important point that people really, really appreciate, the fact that they cannot do this journey of introspection and reflection together. The topics that we normally help with are like, it could go from digital transition to impact measurement, power dynamics. Yesterday we had an incredible work on public narrative, but also all the collective track has been something that has been extremely powerful for us. It's another way of building capacity, understanding how can we collaborate, how can we build the road and help accelerate this for other organizations and for other groups that want to come together. So yes, we do work a lot on the capacity building part, but we don't have like a standard formula. We really want to hear our community, and every year we try to understand where are the pain points and where are the areas actually where we need to support them.
Thank you so much.
Answered. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. And next question, sir, is for Mr. Chintan Bakshi. Largely, I think this is largely for you. Is that normally incubators are totally focused towards profit building, and social incubators also tend to bring in some financial modeling to this. How does awards like this, platform like this, they help these social incubators and the startups which are incubated there to kind of lift off to the next level and scale up their progress?
Yeah, I think if I get the question right, the question is, how do incubators like us help social entrepreneurs?
Yes,
right?
and such platforms like SEOY, helps it to multiply.
Yeah. So I think one of the key things that, as I mentioned earlier, that incubators do, whether it's a for-profit social enterprise or, for that matter, a non-profit social enterprise or a regular commercial for-profit enterprise, is to look at the business model of the enterprise. Right. That's really the core work of an incubator. To really break down what the enterprise is doing in terms of customer impact, value chain, etc., into its core elements, and then to look at each element, perhaps with a mentor, with some support. And that's how the risk of starting up, which is very high in the initial phases, that can be mitigated to some extent. So what we call as mentoring and access to customers, etc., are really focused on helping strengthen each of these elements of the fundamental business model of what the social enterprise is trying to do. So therefore, that's the answer to the first part of the question. That looking at the core of the enterprise in its elements and then trying to de-risk each of these. That's really the main objective and purpose of an incubator, and that's something that technically an entrepreneur can do it himself or herself, but it's really something which has to be done with an outsider's perspective. And that's the best way it gets done. I think platforms like these are very, very important. I think at a most fundamental level, as Madhura was talking about, just the process of filling up the application form, applying for it, will tell you a lot about your enterprise, right? As you start filling it, you also start questioning your reason for existence, your business model, your impact metrics, what Vivekji was talking about. So simply the process of applying, competing, etc., for such awards, I think, will be quite eye-opening. And I think the other facets, Vandana, Madhura, Ashraf had talked about, that once you are part of the network, there are multiple benefits. So, right from business benefits, collaboration, networks, etc., and learning, knowledge, etc. Yeah, I think these are my quick answers to these two questions. Thank you.
I think Ashraf has something to share, please.
Just share. It's in addition a little bit, because Vivek was asking. Great sharing. Chintan, I agree with you totally also. And this is also in the connection to Vivek had asked what's the change in what kind of policy environment we need. And I just want to share generally, when I think policy, I don't think policy is only made by governments. Policy is also made by us. And as people, we the people, and organizations, both corporates and civil society, and every sector actually, including the public sector. And I feel as a country and as a nation and as people who believe in leadership and people who believe that we need better leadership. And better leadership is leaders, who value justice, freedom, inclusion, all of that everywhere, in the social sector, public sector, private sector. And if we were to do that, I mean, that's real better world, because decisions that will be taken will be then based on that kind of leadership. And if we had to do that, I feel one change, one not change, and which I think SEOY did by awarding folks like us and some other many such other fellows. I'm not naming them, but we are not exactly business social entrepreneurs. We are actually working on social issues. We have a proven and demonstrated a way of doing it, of way of making change on the ground. And all I want to say is, I think we need to look at young leaders, young people who are really innovating, experimenting, and really addressing social issues. And they may not have a business model of the nature that, okay, making a certain profit or having a hybrid company. They may just not have that. And I think I just want to share some things just you cannot convert into any business model, like when you're working on inclusion, discrimination, education for the most marginalized, love, bringing people together. Those things cannot have any business model at all. They are just people. We need people to work on it. And if these organizations are working on it, I think those also should get the benefit of being part of any social entrepreneurship program. So the whole just claiming social entrepreneurship, even for all of that, it used to be that, but over time has got a lot of business element to it, which is important. But I think that other social element must not get lost. And some social entrepreneurs may not have the business model in the way the corporate sector sees it. That would be really beautiful if we can all also look at that. I mean, there are organizations here. Right now in the room, I have 3-4 wonderful organizations who are working on inclusion, on constitution values. There is Satya from National Youth Equity Forum. He was here. Raju is here from Eklavya Foundation. And I think Shilpa was here from Anhad. They're all working with young people, young leaders, and building leadership of this kind. How do you create a model for this leadership and these kind of organizations to be really supported and go to the next mile? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ashraf. I mean, we've already, I think, exhausted the time limit. But Maria, I have one last query, and I think this is really going to help uh, entrepreneurs. So I'll just quickly take that. So the question is, how does SEOI winners post their journey in India are engaged with Schwab network, and what are the activities, how they're engaged?
Right, how they're engaged. So in very concrete ways, I think that we already mentioned many of the things actually on how we engaged. We try to work around three main pillars that might help you to structure a bit engagement. So the first one is about encouraging the adoption of solutions of our social entrepreneurs, which means that to encourage the adoption, they need to be visible, right? So we put together strong emphasis on the communication campaigns all year round to ensure that the organizations and the leaders are seen, they are heard, and they have opportunities to share and to target their stakeholders. So that's quite important for us. That's one track of engagement. It's basically, and one feedback we get, as you say, Vandana, is basically the exposure that you get, the visibility, and how this attracts stakeholders and people that are finally get to see you, and they're just as inspired as we are, and that basically sparks the collaboration. So we try to enable that by giving you visibility and encouraging the adoption of your models. The second pillar that is super important as well is about mobilizing the ecosystems. We have spoken about this, so we have publications there. We have councils on public policy and then on corporates as well. So different ways of telling leaders of the world, particularly on governments and businesses, the importance of your work and encouraging this collaboration in many ways. Could it be about data management so that they understand how things are performing in different countries, recommendations on how they could proceed with very concrete examples on how some countries actually have proceeded, and you can see actually case studies for governments and businesses to implement, etc. So that's another area which has to do with the enabling for the ecosystem, and that eventually has a very important impact for the awardees. And then the third pillar is the systemic thinking. So all together it means that we work on capacity building activities, we work on educational programs, we work with meetings that reflect the main challenges and emerging trends of the sector, so bringing up part of the thought leadership and research that the World Economic Forum does. We have field trips as well, as Ashraf said, and many of you said, so field trips to go to see on the ground how social entrepreneurs work directly. We also produce specialized reports on different emerging themes. These are supposed to be guidelines or some kind of introductory topics for social entrepreneurs to go deeper. And for example, we have a series of 3 different reports that were published in the past 2 years about artificial intelligence and how this is applied to the social innovation sector. So the idea is that we can support the ones that actually want to learn from that and go further. We offer access to, obviously, the networks of the World Economic Forum globally, and access to strategic tools. But I think that one of the most the things that our awardees value the most, and I think that is quite a foundational element, if you want, of our engagement, is the fact that they connect at peer level with other peers to learn, to exchange, and they can drive collaborations based on trust. It's a community that shares values, and this is quite fundamental for everything that I said. Actually, this is the very important starting point, that these people, the moment they connect, they have never met each other, and they immediately into the topic of what they want to do together. And this is an incredible and powerful thing. So I think one of the most important things about the engagement that we can offer in the Schwab Foundation, but also in Jubilant Bhartia, is actually the fact that we offer a community of peers that is based on shared values and trust. And that unlocks the rest of the potential. So this is probably the most important thing. And one thing we have observed many times that keeps coming back on our surveys is that people feel alone sometimes as social entrepreneurs. Sometimes it's a learning journey. And the fact that actually we provide a space, a support system of peers, it could be very, very important. So this is in a nutshell, the kind of things that we try to facilitate with our community.
Super. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, that's great. It gives out a lot of clarity to all the entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneurs who are, willing to apply for this award, looking to apply for this particular award. I think if I could just sum it up probably in just few words, and as a token of gratitude to all the speakers over here, and everyone who joined us, and probably we're expecting them to apply for this award, is that entrepreneurship is a long journey. And guys, you all are alone. I mean, yeah. And this is time to come to a community who thinks like you, who converges like you, and probably can create magic with the efforts that we can together put up, right? So award is just the beginning. Award is just the beginning. It is just part of the process, but there's so many things that are there. I can see Iron Man is also here. So I think it's time that we kind of, we let everyone we let everyone go back and they start applying. And I foresee the Iron Man to also apply for this award. We look forward towards this technology for the bottom of the pyramid on a lighter note. So thank you so much. I extend my warm gratitude to Vandana, Maria, Chintan, Madhura, Ashraf, and Vivek sir for entirely moderating this entire session. It's always great to hear from you and to have you among the panelists. It helps a lot to the potential entrepreneurs. But what we are trying to create is a community, as I said, and that's the bottom line. And we will always try to connect with the potential entrepreneurs in the similar manner. And a big thank you and shout out to the team of Aspire for her for helping us to reach out to as many entrepreneurs that we could get on this particular platform. And probably last time when we did, Maria and everyone who are here, we did such kind of similar webinar during the first launch of our impact-based program. We had an exponential rise in number of applicants. We are hoping the same. I know this is going to increase our burden, but that is something that we love. We love to learn from all the entrepreneurs who are going to apply. Many thanks to everyone who applied, who were part of this particular program, who joined us. Thank you so much. And I think I'll say goodbye and see you again.